Hey, hey, dude, how are you? Got a little bit of excitement going on right now within me. Like my heart's a palpitating, but not the jittery kind, but more like the exciting kind. So we shall see. We shall see. I dropped my other one again in the freaking wax. So I'll have to figure that one out. All right, welcome to Coffee and Tarot. I know it's always so early, but most of my peeps are in other parts of the country or world, not country. So I've been up and at 'em early. I've been recording videos too. It just is working beautifully like that. I don't know. My body won't let me sleep past a certain time. So here we go. All right. The way shower, it just like I'm over here trying to come up with hi Kelsey, all kinds of different things, and I'm like okay, like I was playing with the cards and it's like I'll look at any cards that might fall out, and none of them was talking to me, and I kept hearing the way shower, and I was like that's too easy. I was like that's too easy, the way shower, kind of thing. And in front of me they're like the way shower, and they showed me an image with it, which is like being introduced to something that you're like, oh, that's how I can do something, or that's the way, you know what I mean? So it was like they were like, we're reading very legitimate, the way shower. Ooh, love it. So to me, they're like, maybe that's the excitement, is that they're saying, yes, you're like somebody's about to see the way to do something. Like I feel relief. I feel like about fucking time. I feel like yes. Like when you want to say yes to something, then you know. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your matcha, grab your wine, whatever you want, my sexy souls, and let's settle in to see what the message is for today, okay? Okay. It is like big. It feels so big right here. I know. Like shouldn't like are you like is it nighttime? Like shouldn't you be sleeping? Yeah, I know you're probably gonna get no sleep tonight because you already know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Like it's like nighttime, right? You're waiting for the morning to come. Yeah. Kelsey's like it's daytime. Wait, what time is it there? Like the evening? Like I know it's soon. Afternoon. Why do I always pretend like you're as far ahead as LP is in front of my time? Like why do I do that? I don't know. No, it's only 3:12. Oh my god. The agony of knowing it's so close. And you're like, come on already. I know the time is just clicking by slow and you're just like, so oh yeah. See, I remember that. That was before they knew that I couldn't push babies out of me. That was my first one. The one that was 9 pounds 6 ounces, and I remember having to get up so freaking early because I had to be at the hospital at 6 a.m., which was like not where I lived. I had to go to another town, and it was just oh. And so I got up to take a shower because I knew I might not want to for the next couple of days or next whatever. And so I did, and I went and yeah, I remember that. And let me tell you, not to make you all worried or anything like that. You had a baby. They did not tell me that being induced creates more pain during contractions. That it would get so intense, and they're like, yeah, it's the progesterone or whatever they put in, right? Like they give you a shot of something to intensify things on purpose. Like when your body doesn't go into it naturally and it's like triggered, like hello. Like I could have sworn I was at like 4 centimeters dilated, and I was like, I'm ready to push. I'm ready to. They're like, no, it's gonna be a while. I was like, and then so I finally I did the epidural, y'all. I did. I didn't care. What the fuck? No one warned me. Nobody wanted to give you the courtesy, right, of telling me that contractions on that thing would get so intense so quickly, so easily, and that did not equate to necessarily how you were dilating. Like the contractions were to try and make you dilate. Oh my god! So I'm just saying, if they offer any happy juice, like take it. No, I think that being induced is a part of divine timing. I think that it's like, because I've also noticed all my children would have been born earlier anyways. Like I go into labor early, and it would have been more harmful to him the larger he was, me trying to push, because I had to push for some time, which could have caused brain damage because he was going against the bone. Like his head was coming against my pelvic bone like this because of the way things are situated inside. I'm a person where it's like, I hear all these people like, you should try always to put, no, because it's not safe. So I could have caused brain damage. And if he was any bigger than 9 pounds, 6 ounces, there's no telling what could have gone wrong given that things were mixed up. So to me, it was absolutely part of divine timing. And it's funny because with the due dates, like they never, like even with my last one, like according to when they thought, like when my period was, how far along, and then when they went in and realized, oh, you're further along than we thought. And I was like, well, this is when I had my last period. So I still had a period when I was technically pregnant. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like sometimes that gets very ambiguous and is just like a target potential thing. And that events will fall in line as is necessary to ensure, and I think it's funny that you were like, this whole time, you're like, I just know they're going to be a Gemini. I just know. And if they wait 1 or 2 more days, to have this baby, they wouldn't be. So to me, it just seems very auspicious, like the way that things are happening. So I would say no. I don't think that messes with like divine timing and things like that. Usually the events that occur to me contribute to what is supposed to have happened. You know what I mean? So. And here's the thing. Sometimes people are like, oh, did I will this in, or did I make this happen? And it's like, no, you just knew. And Kelsey, the more you and Peter both start honoring that, because there's a lot of times you will say stuff and then you immediately dismiss. That reminds us of somebody else, namely LP. And that if you were to start honoring it and witnessing it and allowing it and acknowledging your ability to kind of like call things, you might find that your ability to do that only enhances, gets larger. And it's like the more you allow yourself to believe in it, the more it will show itself. Something that I keep talking to LP about. And it's like, maybe, just maybe, you might have a little bit of seer in you. You know what I mean? Like you really do pick up on certain things. And there's a lot of times I've worked with Kelsey and Peter before, and Kelsey will say something and then they both will ask me, and I literally will just deliver back what Kelsey had already said, where Kelsey is leaning towards. And sometimes it's easy to dismiss the intuition and guidance and downloads as well, that's just my mind, like just the mind thinking. And it's like, is it though? Like a really powerful seer, frequently, a lot of the time, most of the time, their thoughts align with their knowing. You know what I mean? So we sometimes think when we only hear one voice that it must mean that our intuition is not piping in. And no, it just means that our intuition That doesn't necessarily mean that. It means, to me, is an indicator our intuition is in alignment with our human, which is a fantastic place to be, to lack the resistance within. And sometimes our brain doesn't like that, especially if we've grown up on and become accustomed to chaos and debate and all that kind of stuff. No, it can't be that simple. Then our human will go, oh, let me throw a wrench into that shit. What the fuck? That was almost too easy. It's like, you got to start recognizing that. Right? Sometimes our ego doesn't want anything else to be like a supreme being. It wants to be the center of the show, and it'll do that. But I just feel like a lot of the people that I talk to are people who are coming into this understanding and trying to embrace this about themselves and utilize it within their own life. It's real easy to be able to partake and bestow what we get to other people because we don't have an attachment, right? But there's an increasing need and evolution that's happening right now where people who have been historically through other past lives, seers, it's stepping into allowing, like, seeing for yourself, which is very difficult. And I think that used to be a crux for us in past lives, is the abuse and misuse of that gift and not feeling empowered, like being able to utilize it for ourselves because of circumstances, situations, attachments. And so I think in this lifetime, there's an evolution in the importance of that being as much for ourselves as anything else. And so, yeah, it's sharpening that tool, basically. Whoa. I always thought I'd be induced. Okay. And then my human wants to fight it. Well, not my human, my anxiety. I ebb and flow into it. So true. I think it's my human brain. Or coincidence or luck. You need to logicize. Don't you love my words? I'm going to make a deck with all my words on them. All the things. I do sense the grand awakening. We are forced to link with and find our family for an awakening. And it's to reflect and to act as a mirror. You know what I'm saying? To act as an encouragement. It is putting us back into our power and realizing and recognizing we do have the capacity to do for ourselves that we've been doing for centuries for others. And it's that development, right? It's an evolutionary process. So anyways, because when we do that for ourselves, instead of us having to be that for others, we can teach them how to do it for themselves. Does that make sense? And that's really where the evolution occurs in humankind, which will take time, generations, but it's starting already right now, if that makes sense. Oh, well, that'll be fun. That'll be a fun conversation. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm stealing. I still feel like this. Now, of course, I could be tapping into Kelsey. She may be all like, "Wah!" about tomorrow because I know, yes. But this actually feels more about, it's like I see somebody walking through like a fairy, not an orchard, but like the forest, and it looks very fairy tale-ish, and it's like coming to a clearing and you're like, and discovering something. It's the discovery of the way. And it's like, there's a lack of hesitation with the way. So let's dip into that because it feels very like, very, it's really wonderful. Give me just a second. Okay. We're going to use Azathoth Tarot. Well, ain't that some shit? We have the Page of Swords with the Four of Swords. There's some news coming in. That gives you reason, gives you something comes in. This message may contain something. I think it's more than just information, right? But I think it is delivered with a communication. Something comes in that allows you to have a reprieve, allows you to relax. Four of Swords. Something's going to come in that allows you to relax. And almost like, it's like a vacation from the stress. I hear you can take your time, but it's like, I got to be honest with you. I feel like you're going to be doing, but it's not going to feel, without all the pressure, it doesn't feel like that's where the reprieve comes from. That's where the rest comes from. That's where it's taking your time. And it's like, it's amazing how quickly something can move along when you don't feel the pressure. Like when you feel like you're carrying a burden, right? And it's like you're walking and you're continuing to walk. Like, let's say you're on a hike and you have, okay, we're going to use this analogy. You're on a hike and you've been carrying the rucksack and you're going at a good pace. You're keeping up with the entire group, but somebody offers to take that off and you're like, oh, and for whatever reason, it just feels so much easier. It's like you're getting a reprieve, but you almost have, because of that, because the burden is lifted, because the pressure of it is no longer there, it feels more peaceful. Four Swords is still on the bottom. It feels more peaceful. And it's like almost because that's removed, you feel like you're moving lighter and therefore quicker. It's just, it inevitably happens. So it's like a simultaneous forward movement while feeling like you're getting a break from something at the same time. You're finally catching a break. This message or this information or whatever is brought in, I want to say that there's a level of communication around something coming to you. So it's like, it's more than just words is what I want to say. And it gives you, it's like you finally catch a break. You know, when you don't have that burden, you have more momentum to move forward. It was a long trek. You know, like I'm still getting the hike analogy. We've got the Seven of Pentacles, which is like the amount of work to build something up, or the amount that you put in just to try and see if something can break ground. The amount of energy, of waiting, of allowing something to take root, right? The amount of like faith you had to have through this. Right? Because on this particular card, we've got, it's like the appearance of failure because nothing has broken ground yet. Like you feel like you have, and you have had nothing, like the burden is constantly having to look around you and seeing that something hasn't taken off or something hasn't developed or something hasn't occurred or happened. We've got the Five of Cups, which is like always seeing what didn't work out, because that's all that you've had evidence of, right? Up to this point, it's an appearance of failure because you don't have any reason, like any inkling, any belief, any whatever for it to be any different. Like you're just like, all I see are the split cups. You don't see what's to come. You can only see what is right in front of you. And then we have the Justice card, which is bringing everything back into balance. Like this just feels like a shit ton of depletion and lack. Whereas this is like, whew, like that's the reprieve. Like that is the burden being lifted. That is everything coming back into, you know what I mean? Like whatever you put in will come back. That's the reciprocity. The justice card is all about the reciprocity. Scales no longer being tipped the way that they were. Mm-hmm. Well, well, well. Page of Swords came out again. We've got the moon. You've been having to navigate in the unknown. You've been having to try and manifest in the dark. I'll pull more on this one. At the center of it, we have the Tower card, and then we have the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups. See, the Page of Cups is the thing that's coming in with the Page of Swords. There's something coming in with, it's like a level of communication. It's a level of it's a message that harbors some level of abundance in it. Because, you know, the Page of Cups has a fish that pops out. It's like a surprise element to it. It's more than just a message. It's more than just a communication. There's something attached to it. It would be like somebody contacting you. God, this is like some fucking Hollywood movie shit. Okay, guys, this is not what I'm saying is going to happen. But like, this is what they brought to my mind. Like someone saying, you had, oh, by the way, your late grandfather, your great great grandfather passed away, and he left you something. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a message with something attached to it. This could be so-and-so has left their position and we'd like to offer it to you. This could be, hey, your background check came back and we'd like you to come in for blah, blah, blah. Like there's an offer with it. There's something that'll make you exceptionally happy. And if we're talking about something in the cup, it's like there's an abundance. This offer has something that is beneficial to you. I'm curious because it's like you go from manifesting in the dark to having something come forward, which is exactly what they're saying up here. 5 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, waiting for something to break ground, really trying to bring something to fruition, all the past efforts and everything else like that, but only being able to see where things haven't. And then poof, scales are balanced, right? Justice comes in, reciprocity comes in. So something makes up for or balances things out. It's equivalent to what you put in. And the Moon card is just having to have faith. It is operating in the dark, not knowing for certain that it would. And then poof, the Tower. The Tower is the change, the inevitable change is that you're going to be offered something. Something's coming in. Okay, we're going to explore these two. All right, I feel like that is, these other things we get. We understand that, right? So because there's 2 elements. I got that from the get-go. And I'm like, the fact that they brought the 2 cards out, I'm like, well, look at you. How are you? So Page of Swords, Page of Cups. Whatever it is, it fills your cup up and then some. I feel the energy of momentum with this. Levity, like it's easier to move through. Where do we want to go from here? What deck are we going to use? Okay. Because Golden Universal. You got to be shitting me. What was the... Oh, I feel like... Damn it. Oh, what was the middle card, you guys? I don't know. When I split the deck, I could see... Like, I thought there was a Pentacle over here, and over here was the Lovers, and the Lovers is on the bottom. Okay, guys? Well, you have reason to celebrate because this is the fucking end to a very difficult situation. You know, it's one thing for shit to happen, but it's another when you have to sit there with it and almost like fester with it and see it. Because in this Ten of Swords, it's like it wasn't something that went on behind the scenes or behind his back or whatever. Like, I usually equate this to you walked right the fuck into it. You knew and were aware of everything that was happening. And it's like, to me, this is the focus on the Five of Cups, like they just having to sit with, witness, and see. And it's like, maybe you could tell, like you knew how this was, like it was going to be like this. I don't know. But there's also just this thing of like, to me, it's sitting with it. Like as in the Seven of Pentacles, I put all this in and all I can see is how it's not working out. Like worst case scenario of what I thought did happen. But this with the Three of Cups is, bitch, that shit's about to change. Like things are about to get really fucking good. You're not going to have to sit and see and feel like everything external to you is nothing but a failure. Like, I think everything around you is a reminder that something's not happening. Hey, Jack Mac. I think Jack Mac, I would, yeah. So it's like this is because the Ten of Swords goes to the Ace of Swords. It's a brand new spanking fucking path. It is forward movement. It is the ability to remove obstacles. That's what the Ace of Swords is. It's a new idea, trajectory. So you go from the 10 to the Ace. Like there's reason to celebrate. There's reason to celebrate here. Okay. What the fuck? This whole watching is like, it's like, again, it's the idea of you had inklings, you knew. I want to say some of your fears, you're like, yeah, this will probably happen. And then it did. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like you knew. We've got the Seven of Swords. Yeah. Seven of Swords, like the level of deceit. Like I think that there was a piece of you that was deceiving yourself. Like you were being... There's a level of self-deception, mental conflict, like competing truths. Like, do I believe what I believe or do I believe the shit that I'm seeing and hearing and blah, blah, blah. Then we have the Nine of Swords. The level of fucking anxiety is through the roof. Like all the fears. Like that's part of this Five of Swords, right? Like not knowing how, and the Seven of Swords is not knowing how to, even the playing field, how to get your foot in the door. Because the Seven of Swords is all about having that positive mental preparation, right? Like it's the right lens. It is, what do I got to do to continue success or ensure success? Okay, because it's on the heels of the Six of Swords. Like that was a transitory period, and now it's like, what do I got to do? Like, what do I, to what extent do I have to go to, and what is everybody else doing, and what can I do to make sure I'm in the game? Like, that kind of thing. But if you have that paired with the Five of Swords, and the Nine of Swords, like the level of frustration and confusion, like you could almost see it coming. Like I'm getting somebody who like they're showing me somebody who is like in like events in their life were in such a way that you're like this shit's gonna blow up and this is what's gonna happen. And then it fucking did. I mean, it is like watching the train wreck that's about to occur, knowing is going to occur, but there's nothing you can do, and then having to fucking witness every little bit of it. And Spirit's like, but that shit's about to change. We got the Nine of Pentacles. I knew there was like a pentacle with the Ace of Swords. I get the feeling that somebody was worried about something and it came to fruition, and now they're on the upswing. Worst case scenario happened. Like, you don't want people to know that you're struggling with this. Well, now cat's out of the bag. Everybody fucking knows, right? You didn't want to have to ask help with something, and then you fucking did just to be able to survive. Well, now cat's out of the bag. It's like people, you got to, I don't know what, I feel like there's just eyes on the situation. And it's like, it's the ego. It's what the ego feared came true. But it doesn't feel like I called it into being. It feels like I just knew. What happens when ego's right? That the fear mongering is truth. How do you keep faith in the midst of that? So that's the internal battle. That's the Five of Swords. That is the, I told you. You listened to your soul and you did it. I told you this would happen. Blah 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 blah. Like I feel like ego was like giving you a tongue lashing. And even you were like, why did I even fucking like, you know what I mean? And you felt, because of that, you felt very deceived. Like you felt you deceived yourself. Like, did I just lie to myself and thinking that something could happen, that good things would occur, that the worst case scenario wouldn't happen? And the question is like, was it even avoidable? Because in the Seven of Pentacles, you put a lot of legwork into something. So worst case scenario happened. But now you're moving away from worst case scenario. The thing you did, and what's bad, like what it is, it doesn't feel like you may have not come out of it unscathed mentally or emotionally. But in the grand scheme of things, I feel like worst case scenario hasn't put you under like you thought it would. It's almost as if you were put in a worst case scenario because like ego wanted to inflate things. This could happen. And if this happens, then all these things will happen. Well, this did happen. There was a massive, like, and maybe a lot of shit happened, but not all of these things, not the way that you thought. And we have the Knight of Swords with the Nine of Pentacles. Knight of Swords is my 180, the level of change that's about to happen. It reminds me of blood sugar levels, okay, guys? For diabetics, it's like the lower you let something get, the higher it's going to spike. Like the idea is to try and keep things very, but you know, like with a roller coaster, if you have a lot of momentum going downhill, you don't have to have an engine on that thing. It's got so much inertia and force, it's going to shove it back up another hill. And it'll have so much force behind it, it can almost go higher than it did before. You know, that's why it can do all these twists and turns and whatever. And it's like, I hate the analogy of like pulling the band back, because that would be to me more like being held in place. But this shit was not it was not fun. But for some reason, I want to say worst case scenario happening actually gives the opportunity for the reason to celebrate. Like, let's say you were really worried about your finances and you knew that things like you were trying really hard to find a job and couldn't. And so you did things with your time because you had nothing else to do. And you're like, I'm gonna be suffering. I won't have money. I'll have to scrounge. Like you just kept knowing you weren't gonna get a job. You weren't gonna get a job. And then you went 6 months without a job and you lived like you would do little things to try and make money and you got by. But because you couldn't go out and do things and have fun that would normally cost money, you did something else with your time. Because why the fuck not? Like the Seven of Pentacles, you were actually creating the groundwork for something to pop through the ground. You despised something the entire time. The level of just fucking failure you felt. The embarrassment, the weight, the burden, it just was like you were held in place and forced to like witness your worst case scenario. Only it wasn't your worst case scenario. Like the thing you wanted to avoid because you said it would lead to all these other things. Well, that thing fucking happened, but not everything. Sure, some negative things, right? Three of fucking cups, or the Five of Cups. And it's almost like it's a blessing in disguise. So if we look at the Five of Cups, right? There's 3 cups that are spilled. Those 3 cups not happening, or something about those 3 things going wrong, something about your finances, your career, like not getting the job, not whatever it is, that is going to be your saving grace. That is going to be the thing that gives you a reason to celebrate. So you've done something in the down while having to sit and just like you just watch the fucking tower moments. What you did, you watched the fucking tower moment. Now you get to rebuild. And this trajectory change is the self-sufficiency, the independence, the luxury of life, the feeling good. So tell me more about the Page of Swords. It leads to the good shit that changes everything around. Worst case scenario was your fucking blessing. And I guarantee you were sitting here going, bitch, no, the fuck it was not. You're about to see. Worst case scenario. Because whatever you did with that time while you had to sit there, just look at the way he's looking. He's just looking up at the sky like, like he's contemplating almost. Take a look at this one. Take a look at that shit. World with the 7 of Cups. Hey, Minishka. That one jumped out. The World came out again. Shit you fucking not. Shit you. That thing is just like, it's like, okie dokie. What is... We have repeating numbers here. We have 2 9s, 2 5s, and 2 7s. 2 9s, 2 5s, and 2 7s. 3 5s. We have the 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups, and now the 5 of Wands. 5 5 5. Fucking change. Transition. It's like you have fought for this, because let me tell you, it is very difficult to maintain faith or any type of, like, the tension is going to be released, is what they just said. You go from the 9 to the 10, 10 to the 1, right? You know what's so funny? We have 4 5s on like, this is going to be a massive, massive, massive fucking change. If you are sitting in what you felt like is worst case scenario, you feel like you're sitting staring at it right now, it is a massive change that's about to happen. We have the 5 of Cups again. I heard chaos with the 5 of Wands. Like, it was preparation. Remember, the 5 of Wands is kind of like the trainer's card, you know, like where you learn about battle, but nobody's really going to die. Nobody's going to get pierced with a sword. Nobody's going to get mauled or maimed or any of that shit. Like bumps and bruises. Bumps and bruises. I feel like, okay, guys, I don't know if y'all know the show Bridgerton on Netflix, but they have the one where the queen, like, it's highlighted on the queen. It's like a spinoff kind of thing, talking about the queen and her story and her backstory. And she goes, sorrows, prayers. Like, it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, like, Spirit's like, it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. But this gave you preparation for something. Well, that doesn't sound very positive, Spirit. I'm just going to throw that off, okay? Like, what the fuck why do I gotta go through that to prepare for some shit? Like, it's a level of training. It was a learning curve. And that's why something very exceptionally positive is coming out of your worst case scenario. Like, I utterly let my parents down. I look like a failure to everybody in my family. I'm the last to whatever. All the people who did me wrong look like they're doing well. You know what I mean? Life is treating them good, and I'm the one down and out. And it's like there's something positive that's going to come from that. So 5 of Cups. So we have 5, 5, 5, 5, 4 5s here. And they're saying that being in the down, being in the 10 of Swords, being in your worst case scenario is the reason, was preparing you for what's about to happen, which is the World card for the expansion that you're about to have. So can we get something very specific then about what is this communication? I want to know the communication. I want specifics, Spirit. We're not going to beat around the fucking bush, because the Page of Swords and Page of Cups is here. We know something's coming along with this communication. What is it? If you got to give us a couple scenarios, fine. I'm on fire, but we need details. I feel for somebody, it was like, let people think the least of you. I don't know if maybe you being down and out brought out true colors of somebody, which really allows you to release them when something good happens, because you're like, too late, bitch, I already fucking know. Done seen it. We have a 7 again. 3 7s, 4 5s, 2 9s. 9s are all about that level of independence, freedom, and things working positively for the individual. 5s are the transformation. It's like, because of this win is yours and yours alone. And the 7s is 777. That is like massive good luck. Like spiritually led good luck. Like, this is like great fortune. Oh, and the fact that we've got 5, 6, and 7 in order. Well, I tell you what, the fucking synchronicities are on point. Six of Swords, end of a difficult situation. Things are going to be looking up. Seven of Swords, again, is like like things are going to be revised. Plans are being revised. There's going to be some changes to something. There's more going on than meets the eye, is what Spirit says. You're seeing everything evident to you else. External, something else is happening, is underway. And then we have the Unity card, which is the Hierophant. Hold on one second. Hi, Cappy. How are you? It's not a show, Jack Mac. It's not a show. And if you think it's just a show, you shouldn't be here. I'm just going to say that much. If you think it's just for show, it's not real, then by all means, why be around? That just seems dumb. Something about the order of this needed to happen for a reason. There's divine order to something, which is different than divine timing, right? There's like a sequential something that needed to happen, because let's take a look at this. We have, where'd you go? Again, 5, number 6, 7, 8, or that's 9, sorry. This is 8, and this is 9. It's like there's something about, again, it was absolutely necessary for your worst case scenario to come true in order for something to come from that. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck that is. You may feel this is inopportune time. If you still feel like you're in the Ten of Swords, like my Ace of Swords hasn't shown up yet, they want you to realize that's what the Page of Swords is all about. It's bringing you the Ace of Swords, that turn of events. You're going to view it like, this is probably not good timing for that to show up. But actually it is. That's the whole idea of like being in this energy, being in this right now is actually the perfect time for something to show up or for something to happen and occur. And it's like actually what you're in right now is giving you the ability, like it's creating the pathway, it's allowing it. Because again, like I just feel like now, seriously now, and it's like you're gonna have to revise something. They are bringing me to, things are gonna alter just a little bit. Things are gonna alter. And that feels a little bit bothersome. We got like bothersome details, competing goals. Like you feel like I need to be focusing on this, and it's like this shows up, and it's like it just feels like again, like if you're in the down, you feel like maybe something shouldn't be showing up. But it's meant to. Like right now, it's meant to. And they're like, be careful with the decisions that you make because of this idea and notion that you're somehow like worst case scenario happens, so I've got to focus over here. I've got to do this or that. Like I don't know what it is about the energy you're in, but you're like, now's not the time. But this is kind of like for some of you, it could be taking a trip, and you're like, that's not the answer. Like, what are you talking about? And it's like, it is. But for others, it's like, this is what gets you. Remember, Six of Swords is that boat is taking you from rocky waters to calmer waters. I don't know what it is about your current situation where you feel like whatever boat is showing up, that you're not meant to take it because it's not good timing. And they're like, it's the whole point. And they're literally saying between like Seven of Pentacles, it literally says unnecessary worry. And we've got, you feel like you can't. There's worry with what you think your current situation looks like as to why you can't accept something or why you might make a decision or choice against something. Because we've got the Eight of Air and the Nine of Air, which is the Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords. You're really hesitant and like keeping yourself limited and trapped by the fears of what you're currently going through. And they're like, this is no reason to worry. Like, don't. Remember, Seven of Pentacles can feel like everything's a failure. Okay. I feel like we're dancing around it, like they're describing it, and I don't understand this Hierophant card at all. Like, that feels very not a part of anything. Like, maybe whatever shows up you don't think is the answer? No, it's not that. You just don't think it's a good time. But it's the right time. Then what is it? Like, what is it? Then what is it? A trip could be for somebody, like doing something or going somewhere, because we've got the World card, and then the Six of Swords is absolutely about a trip. What was this? Or love. Like, you may feel so... Like, I don't know, like if you're like we were talking about money and things like that, worst case scenario, like you feel like you look like a dumbass in your life right now because shit transpired and you're like, great, fucking great. And you feel like you look like it's, when you don't have a job and you don't have this, and like that is the time nobody feels like, okay, now's the time to find love. Like I'm gonna find, yeah, that's really, yeah, I really want to bring somebody in when I'm at my lowest. You know what I mean? I'm not a charity case, Spirit. You know what I mean? I don't want somebody just to cling to, oh, save me. Like, I'm not looking for a savior. What's coming in? Clarify. I don't know. This makes sense when we put it with the Lovers, though, I'll tell you that much. Like a higher level of commitment. What is the Page of Swords? What is the communication? What is message of concern? That's either something delayed or something you're not wanting to hear. I told you, you're in the down and you're like, no, not right now. Oh my God. Like, I don't know. Was it embarrassing? Embarrassing for you? Yeah. You're like, it puts so much anxiety within you. And they're like, don't worry about it. It's unnecessary worry. Don't worry. Remember, they keep saying that. Don't worry. I hear no. Like, it is like meeting your most absolute celeb crush when you just walked back from the fucking hike out of the forest and you look like death. And you're like, oh my fucking God, no. No, no, no. It is having gained weight and not feeling good in your own skin and feeling like you're just, like you meet your perfect match and you're like, oh my fucking God. It couldn't have happened 5 months ago. It's almost like, wow, you're making my worst case scenario worse, Spirit. And they're like, no, we're making it better. Okay. Something. Oh. So I pull the gift card and they're giving me expansion again. We got the mature man, right? They keep bringing me to the globe, and which can also be about just worldly travel and expansion and opportunity and things like that, right? Something that's far reaching, connections. There's a gift. It very well might be a connection, guys. Okay. That would explain the Page of Swords with the Princess of Cups, or which is the Page of Cups, sorry. It's like there's more in this communication, connection, whatever it is that happens. Like you think, oh, this is great, and then it's like there's also love wrapped up in it, or maybe love shows up and there's something more. This has been a fucking theme for like the last four months, guys. Okay, because they're like, no, 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 no. This is exactly what you wanted. Like, could you imagine not only having the worst case scenario in your life happen, but then your dream showing up in the worst time according to your brain? Like, are you kidding me? Like wanting to put salt in a fucking wound. Bitch. Because we have great fortune and distant horizons, which is your dreams. It's like a realization of your dreams at a time when you're like maybe this gives highlight. Like you're like it's already bad enough that I exist in this. But remember I said I feel like eyes are on you. It's like people are gonna see you at your worst. I mean, it could go one of two ways. Either people see you for who you really truly are beyond the circumstances, or people are meant to see your rise from the ashes. So now this has got to be public. Jesus Christ. This reminds me of that dude on TikTok where he's like, we're about to make it publicer. Jolly Ginger dude. It's like, are you shitting me? Like, please, let's not make this more public. Please. This already feels like shit. Because there's something about this Ten of Swords where you're just watching it all unfold. Like your worst nightmare is your dream come true. Are you fucking kidding me? But being in the worst case scenario has almost prepared you. This is preparation. It's not what you ever wanted. Maybe it's ego's worst nightmare. Maybe your ego is like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? And they're like, don't worry, this isn't going to actually kill you. It's all good. You're good. It's 5 of Wands. It creates a little turmoil, chaos within you. Tell me about the message. Message of concern. What the fuck? I feel like I'm being triggered. Like I'm not like you are not gonna like you are so worried about how something comes across. You wanted your dreams and wishes to come to fruition in you envisioned it differently. And I feel like it's like we've got wealthy man. And this feels like a person. It's like the person with all the connections that you're meant to meet that will see you for your worth, that can either connect you with a job or that could love you the way you need to be loved, shows up when you are like you feel like you're at fucking rock bottom. This is living so dirt poor, being embarrassed by like I'm not made in Manhattan, okay? I don't need like you are just like no 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 no. This is not happening. This is not happening this way. You feel like you're at your ugliest. You feel like there's just something about it. Something about it. You don't fuck it. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like you being at the worst health you've ever been while somebody's at their most prime. Oh, spirit. You fucking asshole. That's all I want to say. And Three of Cups is also the energy of meeting new people. Like why? Why fucking now? Why now? Riddle me this. Why? Why? You are not seeing how now is the right time for this to happen. So fucking explain yourself, spirit. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Oh my God. You don't see how it's going to be good for you? Oh my God. How this is the thing that opens some avenues for you. How this will help you to completely break the ties. Whatever is showing up that you're thinking this is the worst time for this shit actually cuts the anchor away and gives you the freedom. So if this is just something that you feel only adds salt into the wound or amplifies, you're like, oh great, now everybody's really paying attention to me and how shitty things are right now, and like, oh yeah, it really highlights just how well I'm not doing to have this show up or how unprepared I fucking am. Thanks a lot. It releases, it cuts away the anchor, the thing that's keeping you stuck. This is showing up now to free you. This is so fucking humbling. It feels like it is the ultimate if spirit were to ever test you. It feels like a test of self-worth. And I'm not one that believes that spirit will test us. Like we're some kind of juvenile, whatever. I wouldn't accept that from my friends. I'm like, fuck you, you're cut off. And sure as hell won't take it from spirit. I just think that some things naturally test our resolve and our wherewithal, and just because it's a part of the growth process, like things can be testing without it being a test, right? That tests my last nerve, child, you better quit. It's like, is that kind of energy. And this is just like, this might be the one little string that ego holds on to, and it's cutting that cord. It's like, no, it's the last thing that keeps you from being ultimately vulnerable and willing to go with the flow, the true flow of things. That's just gonna go. Oh, I almost feel like I want to go into a corner and cry. Like, pardon me. I don't know, something about this is like guaranteed success. I don't know what it is about cutting that last little thread of ego that allows your heart to no longer be obscured. It allows you to kind of step into line, like the guidance of that. Because that ego, that little last little thread, is the same thing that runs interference all the fucking time with you. It's purposeful, intentional, and strategic. We've got the Fox card with it's ensuring the path is cleared. The smart person I heard would say yes. But if there were, and you will say yes, but if there are any remnants of ego left, that bitch is about to die. And I'm talking about like the shadow aspect of ego. Like any remnants of what ego has been holding on to, that shit's about to. What is the Hierophant here for? The cutting away has been the burden. The ego, that last thread, that's been the burden. And I feel like the Hierophant is creating that solid structure. Things no longer being an idea, no longer being a desire, no longer being a wish, but becoming reality. Which we said you were trying to manifest in the dark. This is solidifying it, rooting it in, because it is ensuring the integrity of it and rooting it well into your life. Like this will be a stable, secure, like the tower came down to be rebuilt. Hierophant is all about creating that which is within, external to us. It is our belief systems and creating a life, a structure external to us that reflects who we really are, what we really desire. That can stand the test of time, that is well rooted, secure, integral. Integrity, I get with the dog card because that's all about loyalty, honesty, trustworthiness, all of that. It is if this is love, it is not being given the opportunity to hide any of the darkest places within you. That's why this person shows up right fucking now. When you feel like you're at your lowest, when you're at your most exposed, your most vulnerable. Because they're going to get the real raw you. And it's almost like getting this humbling experience. If it's not love, it's having that humbling experience as you walk into something else, because something about that gives it the longevity. You're not going to be happy. I think you're already like, you already know, oh my gosh, you've been fighting this. It's like worst case scenario has already happened, but that little salt that you've been trying to like avoid, like, no, that's not gonna happen right now. No, because I said no. And like, yes, it is. Thanks, Spirit. And it's like you're gonna like. I feel like you're just gonna have like it's an elongated case of worst case scenario. If like it is wanting to get out of the maze, and the only exit to the maze is infested with spiders and cobwebs and all. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? This is your way out intentionally. It's strategic. It's purposeful. But it has so much to it. Good fucking God. Let me just tell you some shit. Because this Ten of Swords energy, this what you have been in, is time to come to a close. All of that's done and over with. It's time for you to make that decision. This is the solution to things improving. It's what you desperately don't want and what you want all wrapped up. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And it's coming into you. It is a what is the, let's talk about, I want a little bit more about the Page of Cups. This is your out. Oh my God. Somebody's just not gonna, this is the change. This is the Knight of Swords. This is the freedom. Like, I just know somebody's gonna be like, fucking kidding me, right? Fucking kidding me. Something about the Page of Cups being what's communicated. And I can't say just love. Even though love is on here, I feel like it requires you to follow your heart. It's like following your heart makes you very vulnerable. It's like being at your worst and somebody with all these major connections saying something and you coming to you, offering you something, and you're like, how humbling. Because right now it feels like I'm taking a hand out versus. But because you know it's your only way out, you almost feel compelled to take it. Mm-hmm. Thanks. Like, maybe. Remember when we had the reading where they're like, oh, Spirit made sure you'd say yes to this. They already know. But having to accept, I feel tears, guys. I feel like if I didn't want to cry, I don't care. If like you are not happy, there's no fight. You're going to say yes. But you feel so raw, so vulnerable, so exposed with having to say yes to this. You're going to say yes. But that little piece that feels like it's dying inside, that's your ego. Like, you know, I'm never one that says that we completely go without our ego, but I absolutely do believe that our ego goes through a death process to transform, to serve us better, to be more purposeful and beneficial to us in our life, so we can integrate that in a positive manner. And let me tell you, that bitch is about to get humbled. Like, I can't get away from that feeling. Like, you might take a moment to cry. You can't say no because it's exactly what you've wanted. And it's more than just getting out of the Ten of Swords, like the Page of Cups. It's more than that. Much promise with this. It's actually attached to a dream you have, to a true desire. But the way it's happening, and it just feels raw. You're gonna feel so fucking vulnerable and raw. Raw and vulnerable. Anything else on the Page of Cups? Man, hot minute since I've had this type of experience with a reading. I just saw the Knight of Pentacles with the Ace of Cups. Tell me about the Page of Cups, please. It's a choice. For some of you, it is abso-fucking-lutely love. Abso-fucking-lutely. There's a good portion. I would say 60% has everything to do with love. 40%, it's more about the choice. The choice that you have. It's a humbling choice. A very humbling fucking choice. So it's like the Page of Swords is the option being communicated to you. It's the communication of this option, this choice. And the Princess of Cups is the recognition that there's more to this. They're saying this has got so much, because the Lovers, and then we have the Nine of Cups with the Chariot. This isn't just happiness in the moment. This isn't just joy in the moment. This is continuous forward movement. The level of wish, the wish come true that'll make you so fucking happy, and that creates such victory and momentum and follow through and longevity of, like, I feel like continuous movement, right? Like Rhino Spirit. Nothing stops Rhino. I fucking promise you, that horn removes any and all obstacles. Nothing stops the Rhino in the like the speed, the momentum, the force behind something. It is unstoppable. It is continuous beyond this point. Like, nothing is going to be able to put you back into the level of despair you've come from. It's as if the worst of the worst in your life you could have ever thought came true. And the doorway out of that is humbling. Because to walk out, you ultimately shed the last little thread of the shadow ego that you had. And you leave that bitch behind to be able to walk through that door. Like, it is, you are vulnerable, you are raw. But it's the choice you've got to make to have the success and joy that you want. God, I want to fucking cry right now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But what in the actual fuck? Like, that's what it feels like. Like, we all know we've got some of the dumbest things that we hold on to for the sake of pride. Like, are you fucking kidding me? To somebody else, they'd be like, that'd be nothing. Like, bitch, yes. It's on my gut. And you're over here like, oh my God. But whatever this message or this communication is, where does it come from? I don't know why I want to say that. And then we'll wrap it up. Good fucking God, can I just say. Much love to you too. Where does the Page of Swords come from? Can you give us that? They just said, it's the solution to this dead end that you're in. For some, this is not everybody, for some, you're going to feel like the thing that puts you in this place is the answer to getting out of it. Because we've got the main male, thief, and toil and labor. Like there was a level of deceit, someone that hit a hidden truth, a missed opportunity, a stolen opportunity, a dishonesty that you feel like puts you in this trying to survive, trying to exist energy. That's where it comes from. So maybe whatever put you here is the way out. Whatever contributed to. What about others? Okay, let's see here. Where is the... Or a truth comes to fruition. Like the truth of a situation comes out. That is maybe the truth of something being revealed puts you in a place of having to make a decision. Because we have the main female now with the Thief card. And the truth of a situation that has like Five of Cups energy, Ten of Swords energy. You've only been able to focus on how things haven't happened. Thief card came out again. It's been the thing that's been on your mind. Maybe the person that put you here is really willing to tell you the truth and help you out of this. For somebody, a truth is being, because we got the main female, and in the thoughts card, that main male that came out before is thinking about the female. Like, it could be an apology. It could be, let me extend an olive branch. It could be what you feel like put you in the toilet, like the clamoring energy. They offer something that gets that is the key to get out. Like Spirit said, you have to have one last conversation with this person. And you're like, I don't give two shits. I don't fucking care what they got to say. I don't fucking care to. And they're like, there's something in what they tell you that will open things up. It's funny because I don't get that there's a person from the past offering you love. Doesn't feel like that. But something about some injustice that needs to be revealed that gives you your way forward, gives you your out. Okay. Where is this source of? I'm going to pull some of these because I feel like there's different scenarios here, and then we're going to get off of here. Where's the source of? Get it together. Holy shit. Where does this message come from? Let me get these in here too. Where does this message come from? Where does this information come from? It could be information about a person about a person that did you wrong. That you're like, I will not ever, like, I'm already in worst case scenario because you feel like they won. But now the information you get forces you to face and like have to call it out. Maybe that's the truth of it. Like you're going to have to because they're showing me that court card and it's like, it would be like your freedom is on the other side of challenging the person that you feel like put you in this energy. Let's read. Yeah. False person. Just a sense of bravery that has to be with this. It could be the truth of this false person being removed or stopped. Like the truth comes out. And it's like the way that they're showing me is like if you've been living in fear of like an ex or something like that, or somebody you used to be married to, or a person that's had some sense of authority over you, and some kind of truth comes out, and that truth and using it to your leverage is your out of this imprisonment. Like, I don't know. It just feels like worst case scenario happened. Like you'd have to be willing to, you know what I mean? If this is like, it is finally walking away from an old person, an old love, an old like person that put you in this energy of feeling like you were just stuck. Worst case scenario happened. I thought I was in love. Everybody saw me at the altar. Person left me at the altar, announced it at the altar to everybody else. Like it was on public display. I had to live out my worst case scenario, worst nightmare. And now not only is it like somebody new is coming in, but I'd have to move through the pain. Like it's the final nail in the coffin. Like it was never them. There's something raw and vulnerable about it. It was never them. When this new person arrives, and the new you're like, anything else? Because I feel like there's another scenario asking to come out. Because that's not going to resonate with everybody. Where does fucking come on, seriously? If there's a lie you were okay with not knowing the truth about, if there was family, some of this could be family. They're not letting go of this. False person came in again with fucking family room card. This is either someone's true colors coming through, shining through, but it requires you, like, this is even like I'm thinking of like court scenarios where like you've been stuck in an area because of a narcissist and some truth comes out, but you have to be brave enough to take it back to court and say, challenge custody and things like that. Challenge, the status quo of what you've been in. And it's like there's something like that's the only way out. Like you have to be released. Like maybe there's a legal binding that could be the hierophant. Like there's something very like having to do something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's soon. Sorry. Where does this message come from? Where does the message come from? Maybe somebody you thought you couldn't trust tells you the truth finally. Where does this message come from? This is the weirdest. This is evolved in so many fucking ways, guys. Jesus Christ. Whatever this message is, it's been delayed. And maybe that's what they're also saying is the false person is something was hidden from you. Something like this is where the truth is coming out. Because we've got a gift and we've got sudden wealth, which is a very promising situation that, and the message of concern comes out that was delayed, that was kept from you, coming to fruition. I told you we saw 777 with the numbers. The person you thought was for you, but there were obstacles that were held back. Now suddenly you're like, it comes like now they want to express something. It's a gift, whatever this is. Whatever comes with this is a gift. Okay, so I was asking the source, what is the content of the message? I'm just, with the things that they came through that are potentialities of this Page of Cups, with this news comes something else. And it's like, that goes in here too. Whatever comes with this, again, they're saying, and I feel like I can't go any further with it. It is a solution. They're bringing me back to worst case scenario, the concern of putting salt in the wound, but it's like whatever was your tower moment is going back through it to get out of it. They're not giving me many options. You've done everything you can except for this one little thing, and it's like you have to do this in order to get to the other side. And while it may sound very dramatic, that is very much so the fucking truth in so many scenarios. It is the truth in so many scenarios. Something arrives at what you think is like your worst time, when you're at your most desolate or your most like without embarrassing, like down and out. And it's like, no, this can't be happening now. And then in order to, like, when you say yes, or in order to say yes, you have to walk through a very uncomfortable situation that leaves you feeling raw, vulnerable, exposed. But it's your way out. It is your way out. It is your way to your unending joy, to your wish fulfillment. Jeez fucking Louise. Let me just tell you. Holy moly. That just was like a, like somebody, with the emotion that I'm feeling with that and the immensity of it, I can see why Spirit wanted to have a really long conversation about that and why it evolved the way that it did. It's like somebody sitting down and prepping you. It reminds me of when I had to sit down with my children to talk about my father's passing, where it's like they knew it was coming. They knew it was, it was our way. Like, but we couldn't get our own home. We couldn't move out. We couldn't move forward until then. We were there. We all knew it was going to happen. It's worst case scenario that was unavoidable almost. And to receive the information is both an unburdening and a very raw experience, right? And it's like the delicacy of which I had to approach the conversation with them and how I would prepare them over time for the moment when I had to have that conversation. It's almost like Spirit's talking to you and having this conversation with you saying, okay, are you ready? And like wanting to grab your hand and going, your way out. Is this moment's here? And it just feels so, Lord of mercy. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this reaches whoever it's meant for. Please, please, please have a fantastic and wonderful day. And I will see you again later this week.